Hello everyone, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Nokia 7210 as a main phone in 2024. This phone came out in 2002. So I'm going to be giving it a score out of 25 based on usability as a single phone. To spice up a little bit, I'm going to be taking it out. I'm going to be going out only taking this phone, apart from my main phone, which is an iPhone 13 mini, to record. I'll have it on aeroplane mode to ensure that this phone is the only one that I'm using apart from to record. So mine has a few problems, which means that in places I'm gonna be able to be a bit generous on the score, give it a bit higher score than I would if that was how I would normally grade it, because obviously I want to give you a realistic example that's not covering all the individual problems that each one has. So yeah, what are we waiting for? Let's go. Okay, so in terms of internet, it may not come to a surprise to you that the internet completely doesn't work. For example, if I try to use GPRS, so I reckon it isn't surprising that the GPRS services doesn't work anymore because of, well, they're just disconnected now, which means that the internet is obviously not working at all. Okay, so I know I said earlier that there was no way to use the internet on this phone, but there may be one way, just one way.
The Nokia 7210 phone.
Now we wait for the answer. And there we have an answer to my question. That's how we used to have to search things on the web. We used to have to, send it to someone who had a computer, or in this case, a modern phone. Well, that wraps it up for the internet. And after all, then, turns out we can give it maybe a 3. It took me a while, but I did get an answer. In terms of use, the controls themselves are not that hard to understand. However, the buttons may be a little bit small. For example, trying to text messaging, for example. So in terms of that, it took me a little while to make the message because of the tiny keyboard. However, I do like how it does have predictions rather than just pressing it multiple times, because they introduced that. Obviously, the traditional that everyone remembers is just tapping it like multiple times. However, I do like the suggestions and the predictions, and you press that, I think, to change it if it's not the right one. However, it does, compared to, typing on a phone today. In 2002, I wouldn't have complained about this, but this is a test for 2024, in which case I'm going to have to probably give it a 3 out of 5. This next test is one that does have a problem in this single phone, so I'm going to have to be generous on this one compared to if all of them were like that, or if I was just doing it as a phone without any idea that there was problems at all. So this next one is call quality. Now mine does have problems with the actual speaker at the top, which means I'm going to have to put it on speakerphone for this. But the real question is, how well can my dad hear me? So I'm just going to call him now. Hello? Hello? How well can you hear me?
Fine.
Good? Is it all right? That's good. So I can hear you all right. Bye-bye. Alright, so my dad said that the phone quality is fine. It's a bit muffled, which I also found on here, so I'm probably going to give this phone like a 4 out of 5. So yep, that's alright. Okay, now for miscellaneous, which is things like games, taking notes, organization, that kind of thing, calendars, that kind of thing on this phone. So let's start with games. So we have 2 games, which is Triple Pop and Bounce. So Triple Pop then. Triple Pop is like you'll probably know it. Come on. I've paused it. Oh, new game then. That's kind of how it is. I'm not gonna really play it. It's just an idea of how you play. So there you go. Okay, next one, which is Bounce. Yep. Yeah. Alright. Try Bounce. I do prefer this game actually. This is my favorite one on this phone. What one are we on now? Basically, you're just like a ball and you have to try and find the way to wherever you're going. I don't know. Fairly simple game, as in how the game works. It's just that it can be difficult at times. So yeah, I'm gonna have to move. There's trolleys everywhere. Okay, so that was our games. Now let's have a look at organization. Calendar, pretty simple calendar, but still a functional one. It's pretty good. You can make notes for each day, and I think that is pretty good. Now, to-do list, I have a couple of things. I'm not gonna. You just add things. I'm just gonna make a random one. Options, save. Let's say I want to have it low. It's not that important. Done. There you go. Okay, now let's have a look at sounds. Just ringtones. How the ringtones are like. So there are different bits of ringtones. There's the ones that are just in settings and the ones that are in the gallery. So mine is one in the gallery, but here are the ones. A bit high actually. Providing I can. Hang on. Yeah, that's the highest it goes, but it doesn't need to be that loud. So. An absolute classic, and then I'll show you the one I use on here, which is down here somewhere. You hear that? That's a pretty good one. So in terms of ringtones, I think I'd give it a pass. And I mean, you can get any of these ringtones really on your new phone anyway by using YouTube and like an app, like an application of some sort. I've done that myself on my main phone. However, in terms of ringtones actually on the phone, I think it would be great if you could download new ones. I think there was a time when you could download new ones because of the internet, but like I said, don't work anymore. You could get someone who has a modern phone to send you one, but that would cost them a lot of money, and it's just not a recommendation. But yeah, so that's ringtones. So I'm gonna have to calculate that for now. So I think it would be a 4 out of 5 for the miscellaneous there, I think. So to-do list and the calendar and all that, and the ringing tones are all very good. Which means that I'm gonna have to give that a pass. However, the games doesn't include Snake. If it had Snake, then I would give it a 5, but it doesn't. So I'm giving it a 4. There you go. Okay, last section. So throughout this experiment, my charge hasn't gone down one blip. It's stayed at the very top this entire day, which I think is great. Which means that battery life, in terms of standby, I think that it's pretty good, and I would give it. That would have a 5 out of 5, since these things are known to just be absolute beasts when it comes to battery life. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5 for that one. So let's go back to overall score then. So the scores are in. So let's just get them up now. So we had battery life, obviously 5 out of 5. Ease of use, which was 3 out of 5. Call quality as 4 out of 5. Internet was 3 out of 5 from me, and miscellaneous was 4 out of 5. Which means, if you haven't already done the maths, you may have done. If you're like my dad, you will have done. But if you haven't, then the total for you is 19 out of 25, which means that this phone is still kind of usable in this day and age. It's a better option for older users, like more elderly people may be able to use this phone. If you're not someone who takes photos much, it's also all right for you because there's no camera. But I think they were making ones with cameras at this time. So yeah, I think if it did have a camera like this, then probably would be a little bit higher on the usability scale, the usability score. However, to be honest, I'm not going to complain about this phone. I reckon, like I say, ease of use and internet, if they were a little bit higher, like if the buttons were a little bit bigger and a little bit less weirdly placed, I could say, then I would give it a higher ease of use. And obviously if the internet had worked a little bit better, if it was like 4, then it would have a higher score, and it would be more usable in my eyes. However, I'm not going to complain about this phone. I think it's a very decent option if you're someone who is not going to use... If you're someone who just doesn't use their phone that much, then yeah, they're probably going to sell this thing for pretty cheap anyway. So it's not actually that bad of an option. So that would be it for this video then. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more videos like this, then leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.